She had
Oh,
a
well,
gun,
did you
so
tell your mom, I can't pull over, the front seat passenger has a gun pulled on me?
She was afraid too. My mom, she couldn't do nothing.
No, you said your mom told you to pull over. Court is calling 2024 CR 3037 and 2024 CR 3038, State of Texas versus Jose Amador. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Orlando Costa known for defense.
And are you Jose Amador?
This one.
All right, we're here for sentencing. And 2024 CR 3037, you entered a plea of no contest to count 1 and count 2. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargain agreement. This plea bargain agreement is off. Let me see. All right, we can go off the record. All right, so you all only went.
There was an issue in regards to one of the counts that they waived and abandoned, and that it was not a.
So I believe you only went on, initially we were going on counts 1 through 4, and then after the court reviewed we waived 3 and 4, so usually we're only.
Yes. So on the plea bargain paperwork, if you all could initial, because it's still on there that you are proceeding on counts 1 and 4.
Judge, can I interrupt really quick? May 6th, the trial date?
I'm sorry, when?
May 6th.
That's Amador? All right.
No, Beltron.
Beltran.
That's Arlene Gay's client.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And she can be excused, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Thank you. We're back on the record. So in cause number 2024 CR 3032, according to the plea bargain agreement, you entered a plea of no contest to counts 1 and count 2. The punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 4 years in the prison. The state is silent on your application for deferred adjudication, and there's a $2,000 fine. And there are cases that are running concurrently and some that are being taken in consideration. And then and cause number 2024 CR 3038, you entered a plea of no contest. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt. And that case is an evading. The other case is an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And in the evading case, your plea bargain agreement was for a cap of 4 years. There's a $2,000 fine, no application for community supervision. The state is silent on your application for deferred adjudication. This case is running concurrent with your other case. And also there are cases to be taken in consideration. All right. And in each case, defense, you waived the right for a PSI or TAP evaluation?
Yes, Judge.
All right. And the court requested that there be a criminal history provided for the court. If there is a criminal history.
Judge, this is.
All right.
He has no criminal history, Judge.
All right. So state is silent. Defense, is there anything you wish to say? And of course, the most concerning thing is the aggravated assault with a
Yes,
deadly weapon.
Judge. So in this.
Just 1 second. Excuse me. Can't talk behind the court reporter. We're on the record. If y'all wish to communicate, ask the deputy and the deputy will move you when they have room. All right, defense.
So Judge, at the time, my client was 17 when he was arrested. This is a situation where he was with his mother. Vehicles brought to his home. They were on the way to go get some parts. In the process of driving, police were attempting to pull the vehicle over because they believed it was a stolen vehicle. He was not aware of that. There was 2 other individuals in that car with him. My client attempted to pull over. In the process of doing that, one of the passengers pulled out a gun and he freaked out. And so he then continued to travel on the highway, pulled up into a green belt. He was not driving at a very fast rate of speed. He went through a parking lot. He went through then a intersection very slowly, about 10 miles an hour. And as he did that, he clipped one vehicle with some civilians, and there was a unmarked police officer vehicle that hit him from the front to stop the vehicle. And so in that moment, he freaked out. He's very young. He's 17 years old. And he really didn't know what to do. He was kind of scared that something was going to happen, either that the police were going to shoot at them, or that this individual who he's not related to and was briefly acquainted with was in the vehicle with a gun and may do something. And so he panicked and he at that moment left and had continued driving. And so, because of his lack of criminal history, his age, that he should be given a chance to receive deferred adjudication and show the court that he's able to comply with those conditions and really to try and keep his record from having any felony convictions.
Oh,
Judge,
yes.
I know I'm silent, but I had reserved the right to speak to any like inconsistencies in the
Yes.
past if I may. Just briefly, counsel had stated that, wasn't a long encounter and that he was driving slowly. And the evidence that was stipulated to the officer alleges that he was driving up to 100 miles per hour at one point. And it was a long process, like miles that was going on. And so I just wanted to clarify that for the record.
All right. So in the stipulations on page 7, it's of 7, Mr. Amador, it says, Jose Amador was traveling at speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic, using the stolen Hyundai as a deadly weapon, crashing into a vehicle and 2 police vehicles. Jose Amador had a 12-year-old juvenile in the rear of the stolen vehicle, endangering her. And they said you used the stolen vehicle as a deadly weapon, trying to flee from the police, endangering, the people who were in the vehicle with you. And then that you did hit another vehicle and a patrol vehicle. So I don't understand. Why are you doing this? Do you wish to explain yourself?
Yes,
You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Salvador.
All right, so we're going to take this one step at a time because that's better for me so I can understand what's going on. So first thing, they're saying that the vehicle was stolen. Were you aware of that?
No, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to take, let's say you're not aware the vehicle is stolen. It appears that the police had their sirens on. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so they get behind you, they have their sirens on. Did you think they were trying to pull you over?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so they're trying to pull you over. Why didn't you pull over?
Because when I was trying to pull over, the passenger, which is my friend, I thought that was my friend, had threatened me with a gun, so that afraid of me, my life, and to like me being afraid.
Oh, so you're saying you were under duress. I think that's a defense if you're under duress. Am
It
I
is,
wrong?
that's why we pled also no, understand that there's the risk that the jury may not buy into that defense.
Okay. So here's my other question then. Let's go back early in the day. You're in the vehicle, it's stolen. Did you pay for that vehicle?
No.
Did your mom pay for that vehicle?
No, ma'am.
So nobody paid for that vehicle. Did that vehicle belong to any of the passengers?
No, ma'am.
All right, so yes.
I think an important question would be to ask him how that vehicle came to.
Oh, I mean, you can ask that question, counsel.
So Mr. Amador.
Well, just one second. Let me finish and then you can. So you never paid for that vehicle. And how old were you when this happened?
17.
All right, so you're 17. You're in the vehicle with a 12-year-old juvenile in the back seat. What day of the week was this? Was it a Monday, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
For sure.
All right, any objection to the court Googling what date this was?
No, Judge.
All right, so it was a Friday, according to Google. All right, and according to Google, that's that date, the only holiday that date was the Feast of the Immaculate Conception and the National Chocolate Brownie Day and National Christmas Tree Day and National Lard Day. So I'm assuming that those are not holidays that are recognized federally or locally where the school is closed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So then why were you with a 12-year-old who wasn't in school?
I'm not too sure, but she's told me that she didn't have nothing to do with school.
A 12-year-old has nothing to do, isn't
Yeah,
that sixth
I
grade?
guess she dropped down. Not too sure.
All right,
But
so
she
why,
wasn't going to school though.
well, why are you hanging out with a 12-year-old and you were 17 at this time?
Um,
And I'm just saying, usually 17-year-olds don't want to hang out with 12-year-olds. And then the other people were in the car. They say that they were juveniles also. How old were they?
I believe the juveniles were in the civilian vehicle that had been clipped.
That was it? Okay.
Yes, Judge. There were other people in the vehicle, other than the 12-year-old, were, in my understanding, adults.
Well, who else was in the car with you? So you have the 12-year-old who's the backseat passenger. Who else was in the vehicle with you? And I don't need the names, just,
12-year-old, and my friend.
okay, the 12-year-old was in the car with you, your mom was in the car with you, and your friend. And where was your mom sitting?
Back
All right. And how old is your mom approximately during that time?
35, 36.
And just for my interest, is the 12-year-old any way related to you, your mom, or anyone else in that vehicle?
No, man.
So your mom has a 12-year-old who should be in school and she's out joyriding with 12-year-old. All right, so while you are traveling 100 miles per hour and the police are behind you, what is your mom saying? And counsel, I know it's hearsay. I'm just trying to figure out what was going on in the car, if there was some kind of chaos.
She was telling me also to pull over.
Okay.
And I was trying to, but the girl had it. She had
Oh,
a
well,
gun,
did you
so
tell your mom, I can't pull over? The front seat passenger has a gun pulled on me.
She was afraid too. My mom, she couldn't do nothing.
No, no, no. You said your mom told you to pull over. So did you tell your mom the front seat passenger has a gun? I can't pull over?
No,
Okay. All right, so you're driving 100 miles per hour. You're not pulling over. So when did this end? What caused this all to end? Was it the crash?
yes, ma'am.
All right, so the crash happens and what happens to the 12-year-old in the back seat and your mom?
They get arrested.
All right, and what happens to the front passenger?
She gets arrested too.
Okay. All right, you have clarifications?
Yes, so did you know the person was 12 years old?
When I first met her, no.
Okay. And how did you end up driving that vehicle? Who brought that vehicle to you?
The 12-year-old.
Okay. And you thought the 12-year-old, the car belonged to her?
Yeah, it belonged to her parents.
And were y'all joyriding that day, or what was the purpose of driving?
I had to go get parts for to fix my car.
Okay. And where were you going to get those parts?
To a junkyard.
That's some clarification in regards to how that.
Oh, I have more clarification. So you're telling me a 12-year-old comes to you driving a vehicle and you have no questions about that as a 17-year-old,
Yes, I mean,
and your mom had no questions. So how do you end up driving the vehicle? Did the 12-year-old just throw you the keys? I don't understand.
I mean, she didn't have no keys there. Yeah, the car was on already by the time she went to my house. I just hopped on it. I thought she had it like a little remote. I thought it was a push and start. So that caused me like thinking that that was her parents' car.
But why would you drive if she's coming over to your house?
Cause I saw that she was like, I felt like she was young. Cause
All
when I
right, and
met
was
her,
this a planned meetup? Did she call you and say, hey, I'm coming over?
no, I asked her if I can borrow one of her parents' car. And she said it was fine, so
All right, this story is getting a little bit off track and it's, well,
Judge,
when I
if I may,
say off track,
I
it's.
believe that the 12-year-old, she's a juvenile, but I think she also has subsequently been arrested for unauthorized use of motor vehicle.
Okay. All right, any questions from the state based upon the answers that the court has received?
So Mr. Oliver, you stated that you didn't know that that vehicle was stolen, correct?
correct.
But when you began to drive it that day, I mean, you had to have seen that the door handles were broken off, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so that didn't indicate to you that something was off with that vehicle?
No, I mean, there's some vehicles have broken handles too.
So you think that's just normal?
No,
Okay, and it didn't have keys to operate it, so how was the vehicle started and how were you operating it?
I don't know how she started it.
What was in the ignition when you were operating the motor vehicle?
I'm not too sure.
And so you stated that you were under duress because the juvenile, or that you felt that your life was being threatened because the juvenile had a gun, is that correct? Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Okay, and so. And the evidence that was stipulated to, which is the police report, Sheriff Deputy with the Garrett County Sheriff's Office states that she observed you crash into a marked SAPD patrol car and continue going. So if you were scared for your life, don't you think that that was a good time to, you know, you crashed to maybe notify police that you were scared and that the juvenile had a gun?
Yeah.
Right? And so after that, you continued on to crash into the motor vehicle that had the juveniles in it, correct? And then in this police report, it states that after you had already crashed into those two cars, officer heard you accelerate on the gas to get through the SAPD marked patrol unit and report the order, and that you proceeded straight for the Garrett County Sheriff's Office marked patrol unit, which had the lights flashing, and proceeded to crash into it so hard that the officer's body worn camera fell off. And then you still didn't stop, correct?
Correct.
And you don't think that would have been a good time to maybe notify police that your juvenile had a gun and that you were scared?
Yes.
It would have, right? And then after you get in a crash and you stop, you still don't comply with the police, correct?
Correct.
You take off evading, right?
Yes.
And ultimately, you don't even stop, you have to deploy the
Yep.
taser on
Judge,
you,
at this
correct?
point, I'm gonna have to object that I don't believe the state's remaining silent. This goes outside of the scope of, I believe, what our question was.
All right, with regards to the question about the, you said tasing or something?
Yes,
All right, so that objection will be sustained. I think it's going beyond the facts or beyond the scope of my questioning and the defense's questioning and whether or not he is being dishonest.
I understand, but it was just going to, you know, their assertion about the juvenile, but I understand. Thank you.
All right, counsel, anything else?
No, Judge.
Anything else you wish to say? All right. In each of the cause number, the court is going to deny your application. Defense, you want to speak towards the cap?
Judge, just that he's a young individual, he's never been in trouble before. This is obviously entering a conviction on his record is going to do a great deal of damage just towards his life. And we ask that you consider the minimum in this case.
All right, and cause number 2024 CR 3037. Court will find you guilty in count 1 and count 2. Count 1 and count 2 will run concurrently. The court will sentence you to 3 years in each count. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Time and money to run concurrent. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 3038. And state will take in consideration 2024 CR 2939 and 2024 CR 3039. Is there any objection to me changing what is running concurrently? Because there's still count 3 and count 4 listed. All right,
No objection to that.
thank you. I just don't want there to be a mistake. All right, and that cause number, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm so sorry, in that cause number, there's also an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And cause number 2024 CR 3038. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. This will run concurrent with 2024 CR 3037. Taking consideration 2024 CR 2939 and 2024 CR 3039. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have something for me? And we can go off the record. Here's the thing, I understand that there are some issues going on in your life because your mother should never have been in that vehicle with you. Your mother knew that that was a 12-year-old who should have been in school. So I understand that you have a hard life. But this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to find in yourself what is right, what is wrong, because it appears that your mom is not that person to instruct you. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you get out of prison, do not become one of those people who becomes institutionalized. Do not go to prison and get all these prison tattoos. If something happens and you must get a tattoo, don't get a tattoo on the face. Don't get the teardrops. Don't do any of that. Because when you get out of prison, when people see teardrops and all these other facial tattoos, they know it's prison tattoos, and then they don't want to read you, the book. They're looking at the cover. So you still can do something with your life. You're young. They have free education at the prison. You can even get a degree at the prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. And when you get out, if you need anything, I'm still here. Come back and I'll help you out, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we're back on the record in 2024 CR 009739. State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we have a motion to amend the indictment and regarding the Brazos County theft conviction. With the cause number starting with 1-4, we would amend the date of conviction to May 4th, 2015.
All right, any objection?
No, ma'am.
All right, and Ms. Grabs, do you understand that's a substantive change to the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
And that your attorney would have 10 days to prepare for trial with that change? Did you
Yes, ma'am.
understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any objection to continuing with the plea?
No, ma'am.
All right. Then the court will grant the state's motion without objection and review state's exhibits 1 and attachments for sufficiency. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. All right, with regards to the sentencing.
Yes, Judge. I'm sorry.
yeah. I will give you 2 choices. One, as previously stated, I found that there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I find you guilty. One, if both parties agree to do GPS as opposed to the 20 days in the Bexar County Jail, what I can tell you, the 20 days in the Bexar County Jail will be less time on GPS. And if I were to do GPS for the court, it's not going to be 40 days, it's going to be 60 days. So if you want to step back and discuss that with your attorney, if you decide to choose the option of Bexar County Jail, I will give you a short time to report, which would be next week would be your report date. So you all can step back and discuss that.
Yes, if I may inquire from the court, if we were to choose the GPS option, Judge, would the court allow my client to have it be partial so she's allowed to work?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so if you all step back and then let me know your decision.
You want to reapproach?
Yes.
My client would like to choose the GPS option. I do have one other request from the court. So on top of, she works full-time at Taco Cabana. On top of that, she is twice per week. She donates plasma, same location. She goes every week. It is part of her income. She counts on that. So if the court would allow her to do that as well as her full-time job at Taco Cabana and then those two locations and home.
All right, so is she going to be able to afford GPS or no?
How much?
No, ma'am. That's why I would like if we could do it through work release, if the court can waive the fees that way.
All right. So you'll have to report then to the Bear County Jail, and you can report the 24th or the 25th.
24th, sooner the better.
All right, 24th is a Monday, so you're able to report then?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're back on the record. This is what the court will do. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 60 days GPS, waive fees, and it'll be partial GPS for employment and plasma donation. There's to be no contact with HEB. And do you still have contact with the other co-defendant that's in this case?
That's my wife.
All right, state, how do you feel about her having contact with her spouse? Because it appears that you all still together.
Yes, ma'am, for 16 years.
Okay, and what the court will note for the record, it appears that the items that were taken were products that everyone needs to survive.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so no contact with HEB, and I'm not going to order the $500 fine. And the defendant is to report to the Bear County Jail on February 24th, no later than 11 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Did you review the document entitled trial courts? I'm so sorry, I need to redo the sentence. The court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to the Bear County Jail for 40 days, but the court will, I'm sorry, for 20 days, but the court will allow you to serve those 20 days on GPS for 60 days. And I just needed to put that in the record so that it's clear. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And one other correction. So 20 days in the Bear County Jail under 1244. So with regards to the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. You know, I always tell people if there's an issue, there are places where you can go for free that will help you with things. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Judge.
much.
You're welcome. And if you'll make sure that there's nothing she needs from the clerks or the deputy
Yes, ma'am.
for when she turns herself
ma'am.
in. Court is calling 2024 CR 5374 State versus Juan, how do you pronounce?
Caballeros, sí,
Calleros?
yeah, let's see.
All right. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Rick Peña for the state of Texas.
Nick Aguilar on behalf of Juan Valeros,
Yeah.
Gallegos.
All right. See, you pronounced it incorrectly, but I knew there was something that should happen with the double L's.
Right.
Which is a Y. All right. So you're here on a motion to set bond?
Yes, Judge.
Right, just one moment. Is there an agreed bond?
Well, they're agreed to a 10,000, which was twice the original bond.
Oh, all right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Would you state your name for the record?
Caballeros.
All right. So I have a few questions for you, And those questions that I'm going to ask you are related to conditions for bond, not the facts of the case. I don't know anything about the case. So have you ever had any type of mental health issues?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues? Have you ever had to take any type of medications for mental health issues? In the past, I'm not talking about now. I'm not talking about at the time of this alleged offense. In the past, have you ever used any type of drugs?
Oh, well, like pills and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
All right. Any other drugs in the past? I don't need to know the name of them.
no.
And are you employed?
Well, I'm on monitor, so I'm on full house arrest.
I need to get permission to have him go to work. If you want to, the new charge out of County Court 13, I need to file a motion to go down there and allow him to go to work or go on partial GPS.
Mhm.
I guess while we're here, that's going to be an also requirement.
So I'm assuming that County Court at Law number 13 is the one who gave him GPS?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
It's a wildlife and protective order and allergic threat.
And who is the alleged complainant in those cases?
What? Well, my girlfriend. Mahalia Gomez.
Yeah, maybe he'll go last judge.
Well, I don't know if you put my case to. That was.
For the record, one of the two children is on the ABI.
Mhm.
I missed.
Okay. And is it the same complainant?
Different complainants on each station. For the church, it'll be Tiffany Gomez.
And it's that TIFFANY? And you said Tiffany Gomez?
So.
Excuse me, stop the chatter. Yes.
That's spelled MAH.
Mhm.
AILIA.
And the last name?
Gomez.
All right. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to follow your agreement. The court is going to set your bond at $10,000. There's going to be full GPS waive fees. The court will note that he's currently on GPS. There's to be no contact with Tiffany Gomez and Mahalia Gomez, and there's to be regular UAs. Counsel, if you wish to have the full GPS removed, you need to come back to court for that.
Yes, sir.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, we can go out the record. So there's a motion to revoke. We're gonna need to set this for a contested.
Yes,
Then
sir.
if it turns out it is not a contested, you'll need to let the probation officer know at least a day before.
Okay.
All right, and with regards to the contested hearing, would you have any objection to the probation officer appearing by Zoom?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so probation on this case, it's going to be a contested, but the defense has no objection to the probation officer appearing by Zoom.
Can my client also appear by Zoom, Judge?
I like that. All right, so Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
if you can set this in 20 days for a contested, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize, Judge. I knew the answer. I just had to ask.
Oh, no, here's the thing. My grandmother would always say, doesn't hurt to ask. All they can do is tell you no. I'm sorry, I did a no with a chuckle.
Yeah, I got no with a chuckle.
February 27th.
All right, the contested hearing on this case is going to be February 27th. State, I'm assuming you have no objections to the probation officer appearing by Zoom?
No objection, please.
All right. All right, so if you give him a reset form, please.
Yes,
Yes,
And with that, you'll be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for addressing appropriately for court.
Well, I've been here before, so I was like, I already know how you work. You know?
Okay,
Thank you.
yes.
আপনার যদি লাক ভালো থাকে আমাদের সাথে নেক্সট অডিশন রাউন্ডে আপনি যেতে পারবেন হ্যাঁ
মানে এটা আপনি কেকের উপর দিতে পারেন না দিস ইজ প্লাস্টিক রাইট
ওকে ওকে
থ্যাংক ইউ আপনি ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন কি বানাতে পারেন?
ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন আমি পারি না। আমার মনে হয় আপনি একটু সময় নেন, ভালো করে শিখেন। জি।
হ্যালো শেফ, হ্যালো ম্যাম, হ্যালো ম্যাম।
হ্যালো।
এটা হলো আমি করেছি কোয়েল বেগুনের কালাই টাক। আমার আঞ্চলিকতাকেই আমি ফিউশন হিসেবে এখানে তুলে ধরেছি। আর পাশে ডেজার্ট হিসেবে রেখেছি জাম্বুরা খোসার মালাই চাপিটা।
ইন্টারেস্টিং। এটা প্লেট করা কোথা থেকে শিখলেন?
আমি কমপ্লিট করার পরে যখন ঢাকাতে চাকরি প্রিপারেশনের জন্য যাই, তখন ওখান থেকে 3 মাসের একটা কোর্স করেছিলাম। ওখানে আপনার ডেকোরেশন, প্লেটিং অনেক কিছু শিখাইছিল। ছোটোখাটো কিছু ওখান থেকেই শেখা হয়েছে। আর ইউটিউব, সুপার শেফ, মাস্টার শেফ, কানাডিয়ান, অস্ট্রেলিয়ান এইসব দেখেই শিখেছি। আর আপনার ফুড নিয়ে এক্সপেরিমেন্ট করতে ভালোবাসি। খাদ্যের অবশিষ্ট অংশ ফেলে দিয়ে আমরা অনেক সময় নষ্ট করি, যাতে ওইগুলো আমরা ফুড হিসেবে আবার প্লেটিং করতে পারি, সেই হিসাবে এটা আমার করা। জাম্বুরার
সেরা রাঁধুনিতে কি ফার্স্ট টাইম?
না, এবার দিয়ে আমার সেকেন্ড টাইম।
আচ্ছা।
এর আগের বার আমি এসেছিলাম আপনার ওই টিভি ছিল।
আপনি কিচেনে কাজ করেন না কেন?
জি, জি।
হোটেল বা রেস্টুরেন্টে কাজ করেন না?
আমি আপনার 17-18 মাস মতন কাজ করেছিলাম আপনার রূপপুর পারমাণবিকের পাশে, মানে অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট হিসেবে ঢুকেছিলাম। পরে শেফ চলে যাওয়ার কারণে পুরো আমি হ্যান্ডেল করতাম ওইটা।
কিচেন লাইনে কাজ করতে চান?
অফকোর্স, এই জন্যই এখন এর পিছনেই শেফ।
আপনার আইডিয়াস অনেক ভালো, ফুড আইডিয়াস অনেক ভালো, ফুডের টেস্ট অনেক ভালো।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আপনার খুব ভালো চেষ্টা ছিল, আর আমরা নতুন রেসিপি দেখলাম।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
তো আমার মনে হলো আপনাকে আমরা একটা ওয়েটিং কার্ড দেই। আপনার যদি লাক ভালো থাকে আমাদের সাথে নেক্সট অডিশন রাউন্ডে আপনি যেতে পারবেন।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাঁধুনি।
আমি নিয়ে এসেছি প্লেন রাইস, সরষে ইলিশ, আর হচ্ছে একটা ডাউল রান্না, বাড়িতে নর্মালি যেটা রান্না হয় আর কি, আর হচ্ছে 3 পদের ভর্তা।
এতটুকু তো এনাফ না সেরা রাঁধুনি হওয়ার জন্য।
কি রেসিপি বানিয়েছেন আজকে?
এটা স্যার ফ্রাইড চিকেন আর ফ্রাইড রাইস।
বাসায় রান্না করেন?
জি জি।
কি ধরনের রান্না?
নর্মাল রান্নাগুলো আম্মু করে, আর একটু মানে অন্যরকম রান্নাগুলো আমি করেছি।
আম্মু তো সেরা রাজনীতি গিয়ে রান্না করে দিয়ে আসে।
না না, নর্মাল রান্নাও পারি, নর্মাল রান্নাও পারবো।
একটু স্কিলটা বাড়াতে হবে। হ্যাঁ,
জি, আমি নিয়ে আসছি অ্যারাবিয়ান চিকেন খাফসা।
এখানে স্টার অনিস ব্যবহার করেছো? স্টার অনিস অনেক বেশি স্ট্রং ফ্লেভার আছে।
খাপসা নিয়ে এসেছি, এটা খাপসা হয়নি।
আবার আসবে।
চিকেন ললিপপ, সাথে একটু সুইটের জন্য চকলেট কেক নিয়ে এসেছি।
ললিপপের সাথে রাইস যায় না।
চিকেন ললিপপ ইজ আ স্টার্টার।
এই জিনিসগুলো অবশ্যই মাথায় রাখতে হবে।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
শামিন, কি বানিয়েছেন আজকে?
আমি এটা কাঁচা পেঁপের লাড্ডু বানিয়েছি।
শামিন, এটা আপনার নিজের রেসিপি? ইটস রিয়েলি গুড। আমি খাওয়া স্টপ করতে পারছি না। আপনি ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন কি বানাতে পারেন?
ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কুইজিন আমি পারি না।
আমার মনে হয় আপনি একটু সময় নেন, ভালো করে শিখেন।
জি।
ফারজান আক্তার মিম,
জি।
কি বানিয়েছো?
পায়েস।
এত বড় প্লেটে কেন?
আসলে ডেকোরেশনের জন্য একটু বড়ই নিয়েছিলাম।
ডেকোরেশন তো ভালো লাগছে না।
পায়েস সাধারণত এভাবে সার্ভ হয় না।
আপনার নাম বলবেন আর কি রেসিপি বানিয়েছেন সেটা?
আমার নাম মোহাম্মদ শাফিউল আলম, ডিশের নাম লেয়ার হ্যাভেন টিট।
এটা হ্যাভেন কোন দিক থেকে হলো?
একটা স্মুথি ভাব আসে এই জন্য।
যে একটা বাইট দিলাম আর একদম উড়ে হ্যাভেন। আমি খেয়ে যেটা দেখলাম কেকটা খুবই ড্রাই। সরি টু সে আমি যেতে পারি নাই হ্যাভেন।
অডিশন রাউন্ডে বিচারকদের কাছে প্রতিযোগীদের রেসিপির পাশাপাশি ফুড প্রেজেন্টেশন, কুকিং স্কিল, নলেজ, সেলফ কনফিডেন্স সহ বিভিন্ন বিষয়ে পরীক্ষার সম্মুখীন হতে হয়। সেই পরীক্ষায় অনেকেই বিচারকদের প্রত্যাশা পূরণ করতে পারেননি, তাই সেরা রাঁধুনি হওয়ার স্বপ্ন তাদের এখানেই থেমে যায়।
অয়েল ফ্রি আলু পনির এটা।
পনিরটা কিভাবে বানিয়েছে?
পনিরটা এটা কেনা পনির।
তাহলে তা আলুও বাজার থেকে কেনা। তাহলে
হ্যাঁ।
আপনার কি?
আমার রান্না রেসিপি আমার।
আমার নাম নাসরিন আক্তার মিম। আমি আজকে করেছি ভ্যানিলা কেক, সাথে আমি করেছি হাঁসের মাংস।
কেকের সাথে হাঁসের মাংস।
কেকটা এখানে কেন, মানে টাব থেকে এডিবল?
নো,
সো এটা এডিবল না, এন্ড দেন ওয়াই ডিড ইউ পুট?
এটাও এডিবল না, এটা হচ্ছে
Plastic on top.
প্রপার। হ্যাঁ,
মানে এটা আপনি কেকের উপর দিতে পারেন না, দিস ইজ প্লাস্টিক, রাইট?
ওকে ওকে।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
Không đi con. Ôi chơi lắm cái này.
Con phải lên, con đánh câu đố của bạn. Con dạy bạn. Xong nó cũng đã không mua. Thế bạn em lại mà. Thầy Duy ở đây luôn.
Thôi học đi. Không đi lắng cái này đâu con ơi.
Con có mũ mà.
Thì nhà sẽ tô phần con ơi, đi đâu ấy? Mình sẽ tô cái phần chúng mày Hello Kitty này bằng cái màu hồng nhá, hồng phấn này. Đôi môi là màu đỏ nè.
Mình đã tô xong phần đầu với cái màu hồng nhá.
আমি আছি বগুড়ায়, আর বগুড়ার সব সেরা রাঁধুনিরা তাদের হাতের খাবার নিয়ে চলে এসেছেন। কেমন করছেন তারা, চলুন দেখা যাক। দর্শক, অসংখ্য প্রতিযোগীর মধ্য থেকে প্রাথমিকভাবে বাছাইকৃত প্রতিযোগীরা আজ হাজির হয়েছে বগুড়াতে। প্রত্যেকের স্বপ্ন একটাই, হতে চায় সেরা রাঁধুনি, এবং একটু পরেই তারা মুখোমুখি হবে বিচারকদের। তারা কি ভাবছেন, মনের মধ্যে কিরকম দুশ্চিন্তা হচ্ছে, কে কি রেসিপি নিয়ে এসেছেন এবং তাদের জন্য কতটা সহজ হবে ঢাকায় যাওয়ার টিকিট পাওয়া, কথা বলবো প্রতিযোগীদের সাথে, দেখি তারা কি ভাবছেন। কেমন আছেন?
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আপনার রেসিপি কি?
আমার রেসিপিটা হচ্ছে ক্যারামেল অরেঞ্জ ইয়োগার্ট।
ওকে, এটার মূল ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্টস কি?
এটার মূল ইনগ্রেডিয়েন্ট হচ্ছে দই, বগুড়ার বিখ্যাত দই। আমি সেটা দিয়ে ফিউশন করার ট্রাই করেছি।
আপনি এর আগেও অংশ নিয়েছিলেন, সম্ভবত 1427 এবং গ্র্যান্ড অডিশন থেকে বাদ পড়েছিলেন, রাইট?
রাইট।
এবারের রেসিপি কি?
এবারের রেসিপি হচ্ছে আমার চকলেট মোকা স্ট্রবেরি চিজ কেক। অল আর মাই সিক্রেট রেসিপি, সো আই এম ভেরি এক্সাইটেড।
কুমু, কেমন আছেন?
ভালো আছি, আপনি কেমন আছেন?
খুব ভালো। এর আগে 1427 লাকি 7 থেকে বাদ পড়েছিলেন, এবার কি মনে হচ্ছে?
প্রথমবারের যে অভিজ্ঞতা, বর্তমানে আমি তারপর আরো 2 বছর সময় নিয়েছি, শিখেছি, তো নিজেকে এবারে তৈরি করে এনেছি, ইনশাল্লাহ ভালো কিছু একটা হবে।
আপনার রেসিপির মূল বৈশিষ্ট্য কি?
আমার রেসিপির মূল বৈশিষ্ট্য হচ্ছে গ্রাম্য নিয়ে এসেছি, মানে আমার গ্রামের যে জিনিসপত্র সে প্রেজেন্ট করবো।
একসঙ্গে কতজনের রান্না করতে পারবেন?
আমি যদি বলি, এখন আমাদের বাসায় যত গেস্ট আসে আপ টু 20।
একটু কি ভয় লাগছে?
হ্যাঁ, একটু ভয় কাজ করছে, কারণ ফার্স্ট টাইম কোনো রিয়েলিটি শোতে আসছি।
তারপর আপনার জন্য শুভকামনা রইল।
সো মাচ।
দর্শক, ভয় তো লাগবেই, এবং এই ভয়কে জয় করাই হচ্ছে যে কোনো প্রতিযোগীর কাজ। সেরা রাঁধুনি কিন্তু একটা লম্বা প্রতিযোগিতা, এবং এই রেসে টিকে থাকার জন্য আপনাকে অবশ্যই অন্যদের চাইতে বেটার রেসিপি দিতে হবে, এবং সেই রেসিপির মধ্য দিয়ে কিন্তু যারা আমাদের বিচারক রয়েছেন তাদের মন জয় করতে হবে। সো দেখা যাক কি হয়, আমাদের সঙ্গেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আমাদের মাঝে বিচারকেরা চলে এসেছেন। একটু পরেই শুরু হবে ফুড টেস্টিং এবং সেই সাথে জাজমেন্ট। আমি এবার কথা বলবো আমাদের বিচারকদের সাথে, দেখি তারা কি ভাবছেন। ওয়েলকাম টু বগুড়া অডিশন। কি খবর?
ভালো, তুমি কেমন আছো?
আমি খুব ভালো আছি, এবং আমি ভুল না করলে এবার দিয়ে বোধহয় 5ম বারের মতো আপনি আসলে বিচারকের দায়িত্ব পালন করছেন। বগুড়ার প্রতিযোগী, সর্বোপরি এবারের প্রতিযোগীদের নিয়ে আপনার কি বলার আছে?
প্রত্যাশা তো অনেক বেশি, কারণ বগুড়া সবসময় সব সিজনেই অনেক ভালো ভালো পার্টিসিপেন্টস আমরা পেয়ে থাকি সেরা রাঁধুনিতে। তো এবারেও আমি আশা করছি যে অ্যাটলিস্ট টপ 5 পর্যন্ত যেন যেতে পারে, এরকম পার্টিসিপেন্টস আমরা এখান থেকে নিয়ে যেতে পারি, এটাই আমাদের প্রত্যাশা।
শেফ নাইম আশরাফ, দ্বিতীয়বারের মতো সেরা রাঁধুনির অডিশনের দায়িত্ব পালন করছেন বিচারকের। কেমন লাগছে বা কি মনে করছেন এবারের এই আয়োজন নিয়ে?
সেরা রাঁধুনি গত সিজনে আমরা রংপুর দিয়ে শুরু করেছিলাম, সো এবার বগুড়াতে নতুন পার্টিসিপেন্টসদের খাওয়া ট্রাই করার জন্য ভেরি এক্সাইটেড। রেসিপি সিলেকশনে আমি সবগুলো রেসিপি দেখেছি, সিলেক্ট করেছি, সো ওগুলো খাওয়ার জন্য এবার এখানে আশা করি অনেক ভালো পার্টিসিপেন্টস বগুড়া থেকে পাবো।
অনেক অনেক ভালোবাসা। আমার মনে হয় আমি আর সময় নষ্ট না করি, আপনার ভেতরে চলে যান।
তোমাকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ।
থ্যাংক ইউ। দর্শক, আমাদের প্রধান দুই বিচারককে তো পেয়ে গেছি, কিন্তু বগুড়াতে রয়েছেন আমাদের আরও একজন অতিথি বিচারক। তিনি ঠিক কোথায় আমি এখনো জানি না, তাকে খুঁজে পাচ্ছি না। তিনি এলেই কিন্তু শুরু হয়ে যাবে আমাদের মূল অডিশন রাউন্ড। আমার মাঝে আমি সেরা রাধুনী।
Học đi con. Ôi chơi lắm cái này.
Con phải lên, con đánh câu đố của bạn. Con dạy bà. Xong rồi con đã con mua. Thế bạn em lại mà. Thầy gì ở đây luôn.
Thôi học đi. Không đi lắng cái này đâu con ơi.
Con có mũ mà.
Thì nhà sẽ tô phần con ơi, đi đâu ấy? Mình sẽ tô cái phần chúng mày Hello Kitty này bằng cái màu hồng nhá, hồng phấn này. Đôi môi là màu đỏ nè. Mình đã tô xong phần đầu với cái màu hồng nhá. Anh sao đây? Anh sao đây? Chuẩn bị dán đi kia đi. Mình đã tô xong 6 cái bông hoa trang trí ở cái lọ này nhá. Giờ mình sẽ tô đến cái phần thân của lọ hoa này, cái bình hoa này nhá, với cái màu tím này. Mình sẽ tô từ phần đáy lên. Lâm này. Chỉ phất phất này thôi. Một cái bình hoa với cái màu tím nhá. Vẫn ngủ hay là thức rồi? Mình đang tô cái phần bình hoa với cái màu tím nhá. Phần những bông hoa trang trí trên bình, 6 bông hoa mình đã tô bằng màu đỏ rồi nha. Không đặt được à? với cái bình màu tím rất là mộng mơ nha.